I grew up in rural Mississippi, no running water, no electricity. My grandmother and I on what I thought was a farm, and I went back and realized it was just an acre. It was so big in my mind, I went back, oh, this is not a farm. This is actually just a yard. When I was growing up there, I had a dream for myself. I remember being out with my grandmother washing clothes in a big iron pot, because we didn't have a washing machine, of course, and her putting clothes on the line and saying, you better watch me, because one day you're going to have to learn how to do this for yourself. And I will tell you that the voice inside myself that all of us have, that feeling, that spirit, that inner voice, that voice at 4 years old said, mm-mm. Mm-mm. This is not going to be my life. But I had sense enough not to tell my grandmother. I had sense enough not to say that out loud, but I could feel inside myself, I'm not going to be doing this. And it turned out to be true. But what I do know now is what Maya Angelou told me about legacy. When I came back from opening the school, I said, Maya, the school is going to be my greatest legacy. These girls are amazing, and I can't even tell you, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy is going to be the great. She said, you have no idea what your legacy is going to be. I said, oh, no, I'm telling you, it's going to be these girls. You should have been there. You should have seen it. And she was making biscuits at the time, Jeffrey, and she put the dough down. When Maya puts the dough down, get back. She said, I said you have no idea what your legacy will be, because your legacy is not your name on a building. Your legacy isn't even the lives of those girls. It's every life you touch. Your legacy is every life you touch, and you are building your legacy here and now. So everything that you do going forward, every life that you encounter and experience, and the way you treat yourself and the way you treat other people is building your legacy. So think about it in terms of the bigger goal and meeting the rising that is there waiting for you. And the fact that you've gotten here and all the things that you had to overcome means you've already won. So go forward. That's what I say.
All right.
Where I felt like I found myself so often trying to find my peace in my business card. I felt myself trying to find my peace in the fact that when I met people and they asked me what I did, that hopefully the answer that I would give them was something that was interesting enough for them to continue the conversation, instead of forgetting my name 30 seconds later. I found myself in a place where I was being called to task, where I was actually valuing my worth by my employer. And every time I tried to be what someone else thought of me, so caught up I wasn't able to achieve. But deep in my heart, the answer, it wasn't me, so I made up my mind to define my own destiny. David Graeber's an anthropologist and he's an activist, and he once made a statement where he said, huge swaths of our world are currently working in jobs that they secretly believe should not even exist. The moral pain of that reality is severe, a scar across our collective soul. Where I find myself trying to find my value in my job, what I didn't understand was I needed to find my value in my work. And there is a difference, because a job was my occupation. My work was when my greatest passions began to start overlapping with the world's greatest needs. And I chose to do something about it. I chose to start going through the process of finding my work. And so the work that we do now is very much a reaction to that process. The work we do now is very much a reaction to that journey, because one thing I believe about the work that we do is that the work that we do is not something, that's not a conclusion. Our work is our journey. Our work is the process of understanding why were we here, and how do we then fulfill that lane and fulfill that purpose to making meaningful and worthwhile that we were ever here in the first place.
Set out to do a good job and do that job so well that the living, the dead, or the unborn couldn't do it any better. If it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Leontine Price sings before the Metropolitan Opera. And sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the host of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who swept his job well. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley. But be the best little scrub on the side of the rill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are.